would say that the word imperative means something that's essential.
Almost like a commandment, like, you shall do this.
I think imperative means essential, doesn't it?
To me, an imperative is something that has to happen while you're tutoring.
There's no way of getting around. You have to do it.
Well, if I think of something that's imperative, it's almost necessary.
It's something you can't forget. It's something very important. It's something that's, I guess, a deal breaker or make or break kind of thing. It's something that tutors got to do.
Does anyone feel super confident in it?
Absolutely. With my notes.
Without my notes? Do you feel good at it? You want to come? Shoot a tutor? Up here? Uh-oh.
No pressure.
I'm just a student. Okay.
No pressure.
Here's a move list.
Can't see.
I know we've all heard that when you're giving a talk or preparing for a talk or a lesson in church, you always learn a lot more about the topic than you ever would have learned sitting in a classroom. And I find that to be the same thing with tutoring. If the tutee is relaying the information and teaching me as the tutor, they are coming up with new questions in their head, new ways to remember it, and they're learning it and remembering it a lot better.
Okay, so quick review. Just repeat back to me everything that you got from this session.
Okay. Well, Paul first saw is a really good tutor because he's really good at. He'll make me explain something and to re-explain it to him so I understand it better or I can remember it. And teaching somebody usually helps you understand it and remember it later. And so if I can understand the concepts now and I can teach somebody else, then I'm more likely to remember those concepts later, and that I can apply them to anything that we're doing in chemistry or for my future tests.
Cool. What else?
Let's see. And then we went to nomenclatures.
Uh-huh.
If you have an alcohol and a ketone, the ketone will have precedence.
It's a different skill to comprehend something, or it's a different level of understanding to comprehend somebody else's explanation and to be able to give an explanation. And that's the whole purpose of tutoring, is to raise the students to that higher level of comprehension. So as they force themselves to formulate the concepts in communicatable terms, things click.
So let's keep doing that. I want you to take what your notes are and start to create your own questions. And so kind of just do what we were doing, but without me,
So the reason I think it's so important to not just, help them study and help them learn the material, but actually teach them study skills is because we're trying to help train them for the future, not just for this class, but for every class.
Here's a list of kind of things that would lead you to being able to do well on test. And so why don't you let's just gauge kind of what helped you the most and what kind of you performed the best doing this and what maybe didn't necessarily need to be done or what didn't help you. So reading all required material or assignments, was that?
So I've had Shelley come in a couple more times, and I just can't help but notice that she always seems to be taking everything I teach her and applying it to her learning.
Okay, flashcards. What else was in the how?
That was it.
That was it? We talked about...
quizzes.
Okay, so we talked about where we'd get the info from the flashcards and how we'd use these flashcards or how we'd develop them. So what was your process? How did you...
I'd rather spend an hour in a study session or in a tutoring session going over how they can study their textbook and how they can look for the answer and find it for themselves.
So how often, I guess, how did you use them? What did you do with them after you had made them?
I studied them, and I flipped through them, and I reviewed them.
Okay, when?
Imparting study skill strategies is so, I feel like it's critically linked to my purpose as a tutor.
Good deal. So just while you're getting logged in there, Quinn, if it's all right, just kind of give this tutoring session a little bit of structure. What's like your main goal for our time together today? Like if you can get like one thing out of today's tutoring session, what would it be? Or a couple things if you want.
I think that, short-term goals that I like to set for myself is just, evaluate a specific tutoring session. What do I want to accomplish in this hour? And then pose that question to the person that I'm working with as well. What is it that you hope to accomplish with our time together?
Goal.
A.
A. Are you committed to that goal?
B.
No.
B and a half. I don't know.
Okay.
A, yes, I'm committed because I need it. I need the A. So. I have about a 75 right now, so I'm really hoping that I get to at least a B. And, I would love the A, but of course the B I would love. And so I just hope with all this tutoring and, test-taking skills and all that, then hopefully I'll be able to get to that point.
Like really, when you do your best, what can you achieve? What grade?
The first thing we did was set a goal, though, and I think that was really important. But it wasn't me forcing the goal on her, although I wanted her to set a high goal, and so I encouraged her to have a little more faith in herself.
Making goals helps me succeed in the things that I didn't think I could succeed in. If I don't make a goal, if I don't make it a priority, I don't succeed in that. Goals help you accomplish hard things.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
What's in the student's mind when they leave the tutoring session is kind of indicative of how the tutoring session went. And if they leave the tutoring session thinking, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to work on that mechanism, I'm going to work on these problems, they know what they're going to do, then that's good. The test is this weekend, right?
Yes.
Feeling ready?
Hopefully by the end of the week I will, yeah.
Okay. To get ready, make sure so do what I asked, go over those mechanisms, and just do the problems.
Yeah, out of the book.
Do all the homework problems.
Yeah, sounds good.
Will you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sweet.
Perfect.
Good.
Well, Paul wanted me to, after the tutoring session, to go through again and look at certain reactions and certain mechanisms to refresh and to compare the two mechanisms and why this happens and why this happens. And so I could also remember, what's going on in either reaction and to understand, the differences between the two reactions so I don't mix them up or so I can remember them for later. And so that'll help me, for the test. So I see something, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this because I looked at this earlier.
So what I'd encourage you to do then is to just make sure every time you're going to read one of these chapters, I'd invite you to just go ahead and just try to find those definitions first and just take a little bit of time.
It's so vital for us to do that, because if we're not setting expectations, if we're not helping them to understand that they have to come in prepared with questions, or they have to bring their test in for us to go over it, or they have to take notes during class and attend all their classes and do their best before they come to us, then we're just enabling them, because it is precious time and it could be spent, if not with somebody prepared, with somebody much more prepared.
So could you do that?
Yeah.
Awesome. And I know that when you do this, that it's really going to improve your ability to understand the material you're reading.